Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing.
Hey guys, let's review the July 2026 dividend changes for the popular Canadian ETFs. As you can see on the dashboard, I'm tracking around 208 dividends. And we can see there's a 44 increases and 25 decreases. And I'm trying to cover these few top Canadian companies. And the sector we will divide these into will be 10 sectors. And we will go through each of the sector with how many increases versus how many decreases, and the last 6 to 12 month performance as well. Let's dive into it. So the first sector we will review will be consumers and communications. If I select this sector, I can clearly see out of 12 ETF I'm tracking, there's a 2 increases and 2 decreases. Let's see which one are those. And if I change the percentage, I can see the top 2 performer are AMZH, which is the Harvest Amazon High Income Share ETF. And the dividend has went from 14 cent to 16 cent, which is increase of 14.29%. That's a decent increase. Second one is on the list is AMHE, which is Amazon's Enhanced High Income Share. And you can see that it has increased from 18 cent to 20 cent, which is a good 11.1% increase. That's the increase side of these two items. Let's see the 2 decreases as well. The decrease is coming out of NFLI, which is no surprise because lately Netflix stock is going down. And the decrease amount is 10 cent, which was previously 14 cents. So that brings to 28.5% decrease. And the next one is Tesla. Again, Tesla is not doing well lately, and Tesla's decrease is 4 cent from 19 to 15 cent, which is a 21% decrease. That sums up the consumer and communications section. Let's move on. The next sector we are tracking is crypto. You can see we are tracking 8 ETFs, and based on the cryptocurrency, these ETFs are linked mostly to the Bitcoin performance. And you can see there's no increases, obviously, because Bitcoin is not doing well lately, but it's trying to bounce off its lows. But the decrease is one-off. Which one is that? Let's have a look. And you can see BCCL has went down from 17 cent to 16 cent, which is 5.88% decreases. The remaining ETFs I'm tracking here, they didn't change their dividends, so those are all remain same. The next sector is Diversifier, which basically cover anything related to funds of funds or the NASDAQ 100 or S&P 500 or S&P-TSX 600 indexes, or mainly covering the broad sectors. As you can see, we are tracking 60 ETFs, and out of which increase is coming out of 12 ETFs and the decrease out of 3 ETFs. Let's see which one are those 12 with increase in dividends. As you can see, HPAL, which is a balanced asset allocation ETF, has increased its dividend by 14.2%. It was 0.035 and now it's 0.04 cent. Next one is HGROW, which has increased its dividend from 5 cent to 0.055 cent, which is a 10% increase. And this sector, HGROW, covers it's an asset allocation ETF, diversified focus management by Global X Investment Canada. So again, it's a diversified ETF. The HEQL has another increase of 8.33%, as you can see the numbers. Then CANL has increased, and then USCL, which is covering S&P 500, has a good chunk of increase of 6.3%. EQCL has a good increase. Then QQCL has a good increase of 1.6%, and then RSCL has a minor increase, and then RMAX has a good increase, and then CMAX has a good increase. Then HYLD and HD, the 2 most popular ETF on the market from Hamilton, has a decent increase as well. And if you see those 3 decreased 1, and here are those 3 decreased 1. So RNCL which is a global enhanced equal weight Canadian telecommunication ETF, has decreased by 2%. And then SMAX, which is a S&P 500 coverage, I believe, has decreased by 1%, which is minor decrease. And the third one is IMAX, which is the Hamilton International Equity Yield Maximizer, slight decrease as well. That sums up the diversified section. Next, let's have a look at the financial, which is my favorite. Financial has done really good in the last 1 year, and that reflected into the ETFs as well. And most of the ETF has steadily increased their dividends. As you can see, I am tracking 26 ETFs, out of which 7 has increased and there's a no decrease. And the 7 which has increased, you can see the top is 6C, and I'm a holder of 6C, and I'm holding a big chunk of 6C in my portfolio. And then there's a bank followed by 6C. Okay, let's talk about 6C a little bit more. 6C has increased from 21 cent to 27 cent, which is a huge 28.5% increase. And as you can see on the trend chart, they paid steadily 21 cent, and this last distribution they choose to increase from 21 cent to 27 cent, which is really good price performance action. Next one is bank. Again, I'm holder of bank, and it's a really good performer ETF. Another increase of 15% from the bank, which is really good. And the next one is BNKL, another increase of 12.5%. And then HPNK, increase of 5.2%. Then next one is BKCL, Global Enhanced Equal Weight Canadian Banks, increase of 2%. And HCall has increase of 0.7%. And then minor increase coming out of FMAX, just US Financial Yield Maximizer of 0.57%. That sums up the financial section. The next section is the boring section, fixed income and cash section. I'll let me honest, I'm not holder of any of these ETFs into my portfolio because the dividend payment is very low, or yield is very low, because these are mostly like a fixed income portfolio ETFs. Where you can see there's a 10 increases and 10 decreases out of 35 ETF we are tracking. And if we go through those 10 ETF with increases, namely cash is on the top with 37.9% increase, followed by CBIL, FPR, MCAD, HISA or HISA, HPR, TSTX, TLTX, and HAD, and CAGG. Those are the top 10 performer, with increase. And the top 10 with decrease are on my screen: ONEB, HAF, HPYT. Yeah, actually, I'm holding HPYT. So that's bad to see that there's a 33% decrease in the ETF dividend. Next one is HPYM, HFR, followed by HYBR, then CAGS, HBND, which is following basically US bonds, HPIL for the T-bill from USA, and HMP. So anybody who's interested in holding low volatile, steady yield, but low yield ETF can buy these ETFs. Another one, my favorite sector is healthcare. I'm a long hold on the healthcare. I'm holding healthcare related HHIL, HHLE stocks for more than 3 to 4 years now. So as you can see, we are tracking 9 stocks here, and with the 4 increases and 1 decrease. Let's dive in. So the main increase coming out of JNJY, I think it's a single stock ETF with increase of 25%, covering Johnson & Johnson Company. Next one is LLHE. I'm a big holder of LLHE, and with no surprise with the performance of LLHE, we got 12% increase. The next one is another LLHE related, LLYH. I think this is without leverage. It has increase of 6.6%. Then LMAX, another popular healthcare ETF with the 0.7% increase. And my favorite HHL, though it's not doing well lately, with no increase. And the decrease, the one coming out of FHI. I'm not the holder of this one, but this is from CI Healthcare Giants covered call. There's a minor decrease of 0.00031%, which is kind of nothing. So that sums up the healthcare section. Next section we will cover is industrials and infrastructure with tracking of 11 ETFs. We can see there's an increase of dividend in 2 ETFs with zero decrease. Let's see which are those two. The two are HUTS, Hamilton Enhanced Utility ETF with an increase of 1.33%. And the next one is UMAX. I'm a big holder of UMAX, and the increase is 0.67%. That's good to see. And you can see on the list, the other, if you're interested to see all of them, you can go to my website, www.dividendnot.com, to see the full list as well. Guys, the next sector we are covering here is real estate. As you can see, I'm only tracking 2 ETFs because I am now really leaning into the ETF related to REIT sector. In the future, we may add a few more ETFs into this section as we found more interest of the viewers. The two ETF we are tracking is HGR from Harvest and then RIT from CI Canadian REITs. HGR has a big drop of 34.5%, as you can see. And if I pull the trend chart, they were pretty steady until the last announcement. So that's show something wrong with this HGR performance lately. But overall, yes, these ETFs I'm not invested into. But yeah, you want to buy, you can definitely go to my website and have a look at the performance chart and decide on for yourself if you want to buy these ETFs or not. Hey guys, the next sector after REIT we will cover is resource and energy, which mainly Canadian oil and gas and US oil and gas energy sectors. So you can see we are tracking 23 ETFs and with the increase coming out of 2 and the decrease coming out of 5 ETFs. Let's dive in which are those. If I again filter by change percentage, you can see the increase coming out of ENCL, which is my favorite, and then EMAX. Though it's a minor increase, it's still, any increase is always good. And the decrease, we have 5, you can see on the top. The 5 is NXF, CCOE. CCO is mainly chemical enhanced high income share, which cover uranium. And then AEME, Agnico Gold Mine, GLCL, another global ex gold producing company ETF, and AMAX, my favorite, which is Hamilton Gold Producer ETF. No doubt, these ETF are lagging in their performance because the underlying gold producers or gold stock ETFs are not doing well. Let's look at the next sector and the last one, and my favorite, technology. In technology, we are covering 22 ETFs, and we can see there's increase coming out of 5 and decrease coming out of 2 ETFs. And let's dive in, which are those. The 5 ETF with increase is coming out of AMDY, which is a single stock AMD coverage from Harvest. Next one is BLKY. It is a blockchain, I believe, company behind this stock. Yes, it is a Harvest block enhanced high income share. Again, single stock with a hefty increase of 16%, followed by AMDY, which has 21%. And then there's a CrowdStrike, another popular company on the market with 12% increase in the dividend from Harvest. TXF, my favorite, has an increase of 10%. Now, remember, TXFs, if you look at the trend chart, you can clearly see the TXFs changes over each month. So if we look at the last few months, you can see the dividend changes quite a bit. Next one is APLE, which is Apple ETF from Harvest. Then next one is AVGY. Sorry, we don't need to cover this, and these are all without any changes. And look at the one for decrease, definitely Oracle, which Oracle is not performing well lately, so definitely decrease was expected. And the QMAX, which is kind of common yield maximizer covering multiple stocks, and we have decrease of minor 0.88%. So that sums up the technology sector. And now if we go on the top, reset the page. So this is the total coverage of 208 ETF, out of which 44 increases I just showed you in this video, and 25 decreases. Again, if you guys are interested, you can visit the website and navigate across the dividend change pages or the other tabs I have built on this website, and see by yourself. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.